What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Indianapolis Colts Madden NFL 26 franchise. I know it's been a minute. I always say it. I don't know why I keep saying it. I'm sound like a broken record. But the last episode, we opened up year number 2 with the Indianapolis Colts, going head to head with the Green Bay Packers at home, and it didn't. Well, let's just say it didn't really go that well. We lost 38-13. Yes, you heard that right. 30-13. That's how bad it got. Ryan Leonard's game was not pretty. He didn't have a touchdown. 3 touchdowns for Joy Love, including him throwing for 400 yards. Completion percentage was not there for Ryan Leonard either. I don't think the loss is mostly on him. But then again, he was responsible for 3 of our turnovers that we had. We had 4 in the entire game. Jonathan Taylor played well, one as he does, and him and Josh Jacobs battled it out. But in the end, we ended up losing that game by a pretty large margin. The game, I think, was closer than the score suggests, because we kept it pretty competitive up until the turnovers started stacking up, and we couldn't defend their receivers because we're letting them just run all over us, because our pass coverage is still apparently just as bad as it was last year. But 2 interceptions, one to Nate Hobbs and Xavier McKinney. We did have one to open up the year, which is solid. In this episode, we're going to be taking on both the Jags and the Eagles. The Eagles are going to be scary. The Jaguars, we have not beaten in this series yet. We're looking for our first win against them and our first win of the season. Travis Hunter, he's moved up to superstar development. I'm surprised he's not X Factor yet. He did have 4 interceptions last year in his rookie campaign, so it makes sense why he got a boost. But like I said, I'm surprised he's not X Factor yet, but this team is still just as scary as they usually are. Trevor Lawrence isn't really the scariest quarterback in the world. He does have star development. He's a 78 overall now. He had a solid season, 31 touchdowns and 14 interceptions. Led this Jags team to the playoffs. That they didn't really do much, because compared to the rest of the AFC, the Jags are not apparently all that strong, which makes a lot of sense. They still got Bashaw Tutton and Travis Etienne. They don't have I can't remember what his name is. I think it might have been Tank. Don't quote me on that. The receiving core also, as of this recording, I recorded this like a week ago as I'm getting this video out. Rondell Moore passed away the day I did this video, or at least I found out the news the day I ended up recording this video. So rest in peace to Rondell Moore. It was ruled as I don't know how to say this on YouTube, but suicide. So rest in peace to him. Prayers go out to his family. We do play him in this game, so just kind of wanted to point that out. Eric Armstead, he got boosted to a superstar development player after a 13 sack season. He stepped things up now on the Jacksonville Jaguars in year number 3. This defense is still pretty sacked. Devin Lloyd, I'm gonna say his name wrong, Olokun. They got Ventrell Miller. I thought it was Vaughn Miller when I saw the V. They still got Travis Hunter, and Darius Slay is also on this team as well. Tyson Campbell and Xavier Woods. This defense, I think, is still pretty stacked. Although this team performed pretty poorly in week 1 against New England. They lost 21-6. They lost, I think, about as worse as we did, although they didn't throw any interceptions, that's for sure. Didn't really turn the ball over, I don't think, at all, but a few sacks on Trevor Lawrence. The defense showed up. Pat Rucker did lead the receiving core for the Jags. He is their rookie receiver. I'm excited to go head-to-head against him on the offense. I think both sides of the Jaguars are pretty threatening. I don't think we beat them out really in any way, shape, or form. Ryan Leonard didn't have a great start in week number 1 compared to his week 18 outing. Especially his morale is going down a little bit because of how bad we lost. Hopefully he can turn things around. It is still early for Ryan Leonard because, he hasn't played much in the NFL. This is technically only his 3rd start now in the league. We still are not putting Anthony Richardson in the forefront as of yet. If Ryan Leonard plays poorly and continues to play poorly and throw a lot of interceptions, then Anthony Richardson might be thrusted into the starting lineup. Who knows? Or maybe it'll end up being Rich Yates. We haven't really talked too much about him and whether or not he would be a starter yet, but he's a bit more unproven. Richardson has proven to be a turncoat, but at least he's proven that he can play some solid football. We're going to be underway for week number 2. The Jacksonville Jaguars will host the Indianapolis Colts, and also this is the start of a 4-game road trip with the Jags, Eagles, Browns, and Chargers. Crazy road trip there. Stacked teams outside of the Browns. The Browns suck. First play for the Colts, they start with the football, hand off to Taylor up the middle. Jonathan Taylor, he's never going to miss a beat when it comes to running the football. 14-yard pickup on the first play of the game. 2nd and 10, another handoff up the middle for Taylor. He reaches about the 41-yard line. And the defender, Josh Hines Allen, is shaken up on the field for the Jags. Hopefully he is okay. They don't want to lose him. He's their highest overall player. The 2nd and 10, Leonard to throw. He finds Josh Downs on the left side. He gets trucked by Xavier Woods, but holds on to the football. Our receivers need to do a better job of catching. This one thrown deep to Pittman, incomplete. I think that's actually Adonai Mitchell. I'm blind, like I told you guys before. Tries to throw it deep downfield. It's now 2nd and 10 for the Colts. They'll hand this one off to Taylor. Nice adjustment, and he remains untouched and runs right into the end zone. And the 3 times we've seen him run the football, magic. I mean, Jonathan Taylor is just Jonathan Taylor. He's him flexing on the Jacksonville crowd as he'll open up the game with his first touchdown of the game, the first touchdown of the game, and his 2nd on the year already. He didn't have too many rushing touchdowns last season. It wasn't low, but it certainly wasn't supremely high. But now 1st and 10 for the Jags. They only shaved off a minute and a half on that drive. Hand off to ETN up the gut. He will not get the first down. He is short a few inches. Travis Etienne and Bayshaw Tutton ran the ball all over us the last 2 times we played against this team. We struggled the last times he met up. Etienne on the outside. He will be taken down at 39 by Nick Cross. As the Jacksonville Jaguars look to try to tie this ball game up at 7 apiece early. We might have a high-octane offensive game on our hands. Maybe not, I don't know. That pass is incomplete. I don't know how Trevor Lawrence missed it. It's now 4th down. They have a chance to kick this field goal. This would be about 50, and don't quote me on how long. It's now 55 yards deep. But it's Cam Little. If you know anything about Cam Little, you know he can make some bombs in the NFL. And that one is about just as easy. It ends up shaking left, but it's still good. So, Jags will put points on the board. He could have made one for about 65 if he wanted to. A new set of downs now for the Colts. RPO throw to Adonai Mitchell. He's been getting the ball quite a bit lately. He will be down at the 44. He's still the receiver 3. Dillon and Gould have not played too much in receiving corps, but they will still get their opportunities. Don't worry. 3rd and 7 now for the Colts as they're in danger of going down the 4th. They'll kick it out to Jonathan Taylor. Good block by Warren. That's enough for the first down. Jonathan Taylor always going to be involved in this offense, whether it be in the air or on the ground. That's the scary thing about Jonathan Taylor and this team that relies maybe a little bit too heavily on Jonathan Taylor. 1st and 10. Riley Leonard play action fake deep downfield. Finds Michael Pittman inside the 15 down at the 12. And there's the throws you want to see by Riley Leonard. And want to see these receivers catching the ball too. They end up seemingly dropping a lot of these passes that they should relatively be making on these tight throws. We ended up pushing it to the 3-yard line. It's now 2nd and 1. And Leonard will throw it on a slant and finds Pittman again. And Michael Pittman will score the 2nd touchdown of the game. And that's Leonard's 1st touchdown on the year. What a great, pretty good start to the game. 14-3. As they move ahead in the 1st quarter, the Jacksonville Jaguars down at the 41, hand off to ETN as he shakes off some defenders and is down a few inches short. So now it's 4th and 1, and they'll hand this one off to ETN, and he is stopped. Runs into the defense. Samson Ebukam, a huge part of the stop. And the Colts will get the ball back up 14-3. Hand off to Taylor. He'll run up the middle into his own teammate, but it still results in about a 12-13 yard pickup for the Colts. And they're on fire offensively. They've already got 14 points. You don't often see this team put up a lot of points in the 1st quarter. You usually see it happen late when they have to come back from being down. Especially since they only scored 13 last week, so they've already offensively are playing better. Hand on to Taylor again, and he's already got 83 yards. They cannot hold him down. 1st and 10, probably the last play of the quarter for the Colts. Leonard steps back, fires. He finds Tyler Warren. He's going to outrun Devin Lloyd. And Tyler Warren is in the end zone. Second TD for Leonard. First for Warren since last season. And guess what? It's a 20-3 ball game in the first quarter for the Indianapolis Colts. Who would have thought? This is a team that we've struggled against last year to, even put points on the board. Hell, even throw the football. That closes out the first quarter. 21-3 lead for the Colts. Jacksonville stunned, if I'd have to say it. Like, if you ask me, they're a team that usually is competitive. Not saying they can't be, because there's still 3 quarters left in the ball game, but it's been on offense for the Colts, and Jacksonville hasn't really been able to put up much. But this is football. That can change within the span of a quarter. You never really know. 2nd and 11 now for the Jacksonville Jaguars, as they will open up the second quarter with the ball. Whatever. Trevor Lawrence fires deep downfield. That's somehow caught by Brenton Strange in double coverage. Brenton Strange has made some crazy catches in this series so far, and then Lawrence will find him again up the middle wide open for another first down. Brenton Strange is one of Trevor Lawrence's favorite targets next to Brian Thomas, and a shot in the dark Travis Hunter, who doesn't get the ball a whole lot, and the game doesn't list his receiving numbers, which I kind of hate unless I'm looking at the wrong thing. But that's besides the point. 1st and 10 now. Lawrence to the left side. Again, it's complete. This time, it's to Brian Thomas. We'll get the first down yet again. We had a hard time guarding him the last 2 matchups offensively next to Brenton Strange. 2nd and 10. Lawrence to throw again to the right side. Thomas breaks the tackle. He's got a little more down at the 15. That's now his 3rd catch of the game. And his 2nd contest. Well, technically that's his 1st contested, because the 2nd one was not. You set it down. Jacksonville with some momentum. Fakes the handoff to ETN. Avoids the sack. And he'll throw the ball away. Good awareness by Trevor Lawrence, and good job by the Colts to just create some pressure and try to break that momentum that the Jacksonville Jaguars were slowly building. It's now 2nd and 10 for Trevor Lawrence and the offense. ETN is in motion. Lawrence will step back to throw, and it's a fumble scooped up by JT Tuimoloau. The fumble forced by Latu Latu. And the Colts offense will get back on the field. And this was a conversation during the preseason. We forced a lot of fumbles during the preseason. And we've got our first on the year. Latu lays the lumber. I'll be making a joke like that all the time. Now the Colts take possession. A quick throw on an RPO chance. Missed Will Mallory. Now it's 3rd and 10 for Indianapolis. They could potentially go 3 and out, which they haven't done all game so far. To the left side, that is incomplete, slightly overthrew Michael Pittman. And that's one of Leonard's issues, is he's not very accurate throwing the football. We hope that can change over the course of the year. Remember, he is only like a 68 overall, about 65. Trevor Lawrence finds his target, gain of 4. As the Jacksonville Jaguars move a little further ahead. They need to start pushing their offense. Their offense has not been great outside of that last drive. And as I say that, Brian Thomas is wide open on the left side of the field for another Jacksonville first down. They can rely on anyone, is Brian Thomas. As they move the ball a little bit forward, Lawrence dancing in the pocket, and that ball is forced out. Incomplete. And now it's 3rd and 10 for Jacksonville, and Trevor Lawrence in danger and possibly having to kick another field goal. You can rely on Cam Little to make field goals, but you don't want to keep doing that. Lawrence to the right side finds a wide open Hunter. But that's just a great wrap-up tackle by Tony Adams, the newly acquired Colt. And the Jacksonville Jaguars say, screw it, we're going for it on 4th and 1. Momentum is not on our side. And I don't blame him. Hand off to ETN, and great block up ahead by the guard. And that results in a first down and a little bit more. Down at the 12-yard line for ETN. Let's see that block again. That was an amazing block to stop the defense. Defense has been pretty good so far. I know we lost 38-13, but the defense against the Packers is pretty good. We didn't allow that many points. And as I talk up the defense, Etienne has a wide open lane up the middle, and he scores Jacksonville's first touchdown of the game. I don't know why I keep seeing the celebration in the game. Not terrible, but they're moving crazy fast for no reason. I don't know if anyone in real life can do that, but it's a 21-10 game in favor of Indianapolis. And the offense come back in the field. A little bit under 4 minutes left. Jonathan Taylor would have went down, but showcasing his power, so it's a 3rd and 4 instead of probably like a 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10. So Leonard, he'll step back to throw quick up the middle. He'll find Will Mallory, the backup tight end, who's been getting I keep saying Will Mallory. It's Tyler Conklin, guys. I'm sorry. I keep messing the name up. I keep instinctively saying Will Mallory. But anyways, it's a Conklin for a first down. 1st and 10 now for him again. And that is somehow caught. He threw it as he got hit. Mitchell had to kind of go back for it. But it's complete nonetheless. A pretty crazy throw by Roddy Leonard. Had to take a hit for it. Now it's 1st and 10 with 2 minutes left. Fires it to Jonathan Taylor. Gain of 8. Leonard's already got 2 touchdowns in this game. Considering how he went last game, this is a pretty big improvement. 2nd and 2. Leonard trying to buy some time. He is sacked. Trayvon Walker with the loss of 10. And that should give Jacksonville the momentum they need. Granted, this is still 3rd down. Leonard holding on to the football for a little bit too long. You can trust your defense if you're Jacksonville to get you back in this ball game. They were able to do it last year. 3rd and 12, and they'll just hand it off to Taylor. Not trying to risk a turnover or anything like that. And just let the clock kind of run. Makes sense. They'll punt this ball away with a little bit over a minute left to go. And now it's under a minute. The Colts are using to waste about as much clock as they can trying to punt this football away. Jacksonville does get the ball after half. So worst case scenario, they will score and then they'll get the ball back. Jacksonville, what, under 50 minutes left? If I'm Jacksonville, I use that timeout. I don't really rely. I mean, you could go either or. You could use it now, but I would have just used it so that way I have a little bit more time. They only have 2 timeouts to work with. 1st and 10. Lawrence finds Thomas, on the right side. That is a timeout down at now the 48. They're close to scoring distance. Lawrence to throw. He is sacked this time. It is Tyquan Lewis, with I believe his 1st or 2nd of the year, and Jacksonville won't do much further. And the Colts lead at half 21-10. And you would think this is, well, don't quote me on the year. You would think this is about 2017, 2010. But no, it's 2026. Well, technically 2027. But let's look around the league. The Vikings host the Panthers. I'm yapping. In week 2. I think this is a night game. They're in a dome anyways. But JJ McCarthy and the Vikings get past Bryce Young and the Panthers. Pretty impressive win for the Vikings there, keeping up JJ McCarthy's resume. The Saints host the Ravens. This time around, the Ravens 1-0, the Saints 0-1. And it is the Ravens with Derrick Henry still looking like he's prime Derrick Henry, blowing out the Saints 17-0. Is about what you'd expect, because the Saints suck. Hate to say it. Sorry to Saints fans. Then the Raiders and the Steelers. The Steelers started 0-5 last year. They got a win last week in week 1. The Raiders, the defending champs, are currently trailing the Steelers. Well, actually, I take that back, because the game is tied after a crazy touchdown near the end zone by Calvin Austin. The game is tied at 7 apiece. I said they were losing. I'm an idiot. Interesting matchup. Cincinnati blowing out Cleveland. Who would have thought? And Miami up 13-10 on the Jets. Now, this game has been really one-sided. It's been the Colts offense that's been on fire. They haven't scored in their last drive or 2. And Jacksonville is trailing, having to fight to get back into this ball game, which is kind of a surprise because this was kind of the other way around last year. The Colts kept it close in both games, but it felt like Jacksonville was just on a different plane last season compared to this year. But it is the start of the season. Obviously, there are some changes, especially with some of the rosters, so don't expect the team to be the same after just 1 year, especially since Jacksonville did win the division, but not by that big of a margin. Anyways, 3rd and 7. It's Trevor Lawrence in the offense. Lawrence will step back, fires it to the running back. It's actually not the running back. But regardless, he is short of the first down. Good job by the Colts getting the tackle. First down, handoff to Jonathan Taylor. He'll bounce it outside. Nice juke move. Still on his feet. Down at the 44. He's got 11 attempts for 111 rushing yards. Jacksonville Jaguars just have had no answer for him. I don't want to force him the ball. I want to get the pass game involved, but that's batted away. And we all know all too well he can't consistently throw it up the middle because Devin Lloyd is there. And off to DJ Giddens as he goes outside, follows the blocker down at the 34. Want to get him some reps. I said at the beginning of the year we want to get him some more touches this year, and that is the goal. Leonard step back, fires the right side. That's incomplete for Warren. He had in his hands, it's jarred loose. 3rd and 10, Jacksonville put some pressure. That is incomplete again for Warren, who again couldn't hold on to the football. So that forces Spencer Schrader to kick a field goal. It's not super far, but it's up the middle. And it's a 24-10 lead for the Colts. I said before that these receivers have been inconsistent when it comes to catching this football, and it's shown here. Lawrence finds a wide open ETN underneath, and he'll get the first down at the 49-yard line, close to midfield. Pretty much a few steps away. They'll give it to ETN up the middle. He will gain 8 yards. Pretty hefty 8 yards. They would lose 2. Now it's 3rd and 4. Lawrence in offense in trouble. 3rd and 4. Lawrence will run it right up the middle. ETN is there to block, and that's a first down. That's a good gain also for Trevor Lawrence, someone who doesn't run the football a whole lot, as he'll reset the downs with his legs. Lawrence steps back again, 1st and 10. He's got running room. Instead, he fires it, and it's intercepted in the end zone. Tony Adams, as we credited him earlier with a big tackle, picks the ball off. It bounced in his hands, but he corralled it. And it's not a terrible throw, but a throw on the run was not ideal for Trevor Lawrence. That's his first pick of the game. And now they'll hand this one off to Giddens. He goes outside, down at the 39-yard line. This game has been completely one-sided. Jacksonville, they're only trailing by 14. It's not a big deficit. There's a big miss by Leonard, meant for Warren. If he just makes that a little bit more accurate, throws it behind Warren, that could be a first down. Instead, it's incomplete, and the Colts have to punt the ball away. And then Trevor Lawrence throws it right back to the Colts defense. It's Jalen Jones who picks it off. And Trevor Lawrence that time missed the throw. The first interception, it was a good throw. It just, Tony Adams jumped in front of the route. This time, it was just a pretty bad throw by Trevor Lawrence. Either way, that's the second pick for him. After running up the middle for Taylor, he only gets 4. Now it's 2nd and 6. Quick throw to the right side. He gets rocked. It's Mitchell, though. Hangs on to it for another first down. Mitchell's been showing up these last few games. Pressure by the Jags. Thrown up the middle. That is caught. Inside the 5. First down for Josh Downs. It is now 3rd and goal for the Indianapolis Colts. Leonard steps back to throw. He's going to run out the pocket, call his own number, and Riley Leonard is in the end zone. And this game is picked up. Not in the way you think. The Jacksonville crowd is stunned that the Jags are getting blown out like this. It's now 31-10. Remember, the Colts led 21-3 after the first. Jacksonville gets the ball back, hand off to ETN, nowhere to go. He's locked up. What is going on here with this offense? 3rd and 3. They got to figure it out here. They don't have much time to work with. Lawrence up the middle. He finds Brenton Strange. He's got some movement, and that's a first down for Strange in the offense. Possibly looking at the last play or 2 of the 3rd quarter. And he's something here. Hand off to ETN. He is chased by Drew Tranquil, which will close out the 3rd quarter. It's a one-sided game the whole way through. The first quarter, it was 21-3 a 21-3 sled. Jacksonville has not scored since the second quarter with their only touchdown. But they're around midfield. They have a chance. They still got time. They're down by 21, but this is the NFL. But it doesn't look like as much is going to happen as Tyquan Lewis, his second sack of the day. Now it's 3rd and 16 for Jacksonville. A long way to go. A Walmart parking lot practically. 3rd and 16. Lawrence is going to have to throw this football. They can run it to make it a little bit closer. And he's sacked again. It is Kalijah Cansey. Drops him back. The Jacksonville Jaguars are actually going to hurry it up. Put pressure on the Colts defense on 4th and 21. I mean, what choice do they have? They have to. This one deep downfield. That pass is caught in the end zone. Brian Thomas. Moss's Travarius Ward. I wouldn't call him Moss, but he mossed Travarius Ward. Had about half a step on him. And the Jacksonville Jaguars will finally score a risky play call by the Jags, going for it on 4th and 21, but didn't have much to lose. Brian Thomas had half a step on Travarius Ward, and the Jags will finally be able to cut into this deficit. It's now 31-17. Like I said, sometimes it only takes one play to get your team back in the game. A little bit more from the defense, and Jacksonville could make their way here. Conklin gets a short gain. It's now 3rd and 3. A stop here for Jacksonville would do wonders for their momentum. Leonard will throw up the middle, finds Pittman, and that's a first down. Olokun couldn't jar the ball out or knock the ball loose. Colts can waste some clock. Leonard steps back to throw. Left side finds Warren, but no much room other than that. A low throw by Leonard. If he throws a little bit higher into his body, that could be a first down. ETN up the middle. He had a lane to go up into the end zone. That's a key tackle there, as Jacksonville still has about 7 minutes left to try to tie this ball game. Lawrence the throw finds Brian Thomas up the middle, inside the numbers at the 44-yard line. It's now 2nd and 11 now for Lawrence in the offense. Thomas is in motion. Lawrence will step back on the run, finds Travis Hunter. But a pickup block by Brian Thomas. A pretty positive play there. They're inside the 25 now, or sorry, the 30 now. 1st and 10. Bayshaw Tutton finally making an appearance in this game. And how does he start? Spinning off of Travarius Ward. We cannot stop Bayshaw Tutton. I don't know why. Or Bayshaw Tutton, however you say his name. But 2nd and 9 now for Jacksonville. They just want to get into the end zone, get back in this game. Lawrence on the run finds his target. It is Brian Thomas in the end zone. His 2nd touchdown of the game, their 2nd connection of the game, and it's now a 31-23 lead. And all of a sudden, the Jacksonville Jaguars are back in this game. They're going to go for 2. They don't want it to be a 7-point deficit. They want it to be 6. Lawrence quick throw up the middle finds his man, and it's a 2-point conversion. Travis Hunter. And now it's 31-25. And all of a sudden, Jacksonville went from being down 21 to start the quarter to only being down by 6. Now it's pressure on the Colts. Hand off to Jonathan Taylor. He runs up the middle. They haven't been able to stop him. This is where the Colts kind of need to rely on him a little bit more. Not that they wouldn't in the first place. 2nd and 11. Leonard will throw. This pass is going to be caught. Incomplete, actually. He had to back up pretty far in the end zone. Now 3rd and 11. Need a play here. He just finds DJ Giddens for a gain of 10. And now the Colts have to decide whether or not they're actually going to go for it. And they will. A risky play because they don't get it. Jacksonville has great field position. They're taking big risks at the 46. Unless they're trying to get Jacksonville to jump. They're not. They call it. Hand off to Giddens. He will get it. Albeit barely. But he will get it. And now Jacksonville has to start playing the timeout game. They used their first. With a little bit over 2:30 left. And now they have to hope they get stops if the pass is thrown. They can't let it be complete. And Colts don't want to go out of bounds. Hand off to Giddens right up the middle. He's got a first down and a lot more inside the 35. The Jacksonville Jaguars have to use their 2nd timeout. Leonard will throw, finds his target on the left side, and Jacksonville will use their final timeout. Is Adonai Mitchell. I talked him up for good reason. The Colts will get downfield a little bit further. It's 3rd and goal now at the 5. Time is still ticking for the Jacksonville Jaguars, who, unless they can force a turnover, they're going to be down by at least 9. At worst, they allow a touchdown. They won't hear. Good stop by the defense. Spencer Schrader to kick a very short field goal to make this a 9-point lead, and they will. So with that kick, it's now a 34-25 ball game. And Brian Thomas, he has 183 yards. If you include that haul they had in, earlier in the game, or earlier in the quarter, I should say. He's kind of killed us despite not having a lot of catches, and he has another one right there. It's actually ETN, sorry. But the ETN's got one, a first down. Jacksonville has to hurry up. They don't have timeouts to use. Lawrence to the left side. That is caught by the rookie Pat Rucker, and he is not forced out of bounds. Well, Jacksonville will have to keep going. They do kneel it, so it stops the clock. Lawrence to throw deep in the end zone. Pass is incomplete. Almost had it. The defender sticks to him, and they're going to decide to kick it with Cam Little. Makes sense because he can make this kick. It's deep, and it is good. There is a penalty on our side. It's roughing the kicker, so they'll accept it pretty much anyways. And now it kind of comes down to an onside kick. You're not going to risk it. If it comes down to an onside kick, if the Jacksonville Jaguars get it, they stay in this game. If the Colts get it, the game is over. And this kick will be received and recovered by the Indianapolis Colts. Josh Downs, and this game is over. The Colts will win 34-28. This game got a lot closer than it looked at the end of the 3rd, but the Colts will get their first win, and Jacksonville is still winless through 2. Remember, they won the AFC South last year, and they were dominant for the second half of the year. And the Colts couldn't really buy, and it took them week 2 to buy a win last year, but they couldn't beat the Jaguars. A key win for Indianapolis here. Like I said, the game was closer than the score has suggested up until the 4th quarter. Trevor Lawrence, he looks solid. 2 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. Leonard did not throw an interception, which is the first time he's done it in his short career. Completion percentage was not the prettiest. 37 throws, 21 completions. Wasn't pretty, but we got the job done nonetheless. So you gotta take solace in some of it. Jonathan Taylor ran the ball well yet again. I mean, he's usually gonna do that. He's been doing it ever since he's got his X Factor. DJ Giddens ran the ball pretty well. E10 was solid. 20 touches. A lot of touches for a team that was down for a majority of the game. Brian Thomas torched us though. 2 touchdowns and 180 yards. Adonai Mitchell, he made some pretty key catches. I know that's not gonna show up too much on the scoreboard or on the stat sheet or anything, but I'll give him credit where credit is due. Tyler Warren was not too deeply involved in this game because he dropped a lot of his passes, which I don't know if it's because of him or because Leonard is just not throwing super accurate passes. I think it's a mix of both. Daquan Lewis led the team in sacks with 2. We had 4 against Trevor Lawrence, which I don't think we could really get to him much last season. So the defense, despite allowing a lot of yardage, is improving in other areas. Being able to get to the quarterback, putting pressure on the quarterback, and getting interceptions. We got 2 this week. As JT Tuimoloau will get a small upgrade, will upgrade his power rushing statistics. Like I said, I don't really know what the most OP thing is. I try not to do that. Hopefully I'm not, but we'll see. Still has 97 to his power moves. He's still able to get past his defenders, offensive line pretty easily. Hopefully he will continue to improve. Like I said, I want him to be a defensive player of the year at one point. Well, look at what happened around the rest of the NFL for week number 2. I kind of wish they showed a different game for the first one, that they always show our game like we didn't just play it. But this score ended pretty close. It was a 6-point sled by the Colts, but it was more one-sided until the end. Yeah, it was scary. The Patriots host the Bills. The Patriots beat the Bills in the AFC East last season. So I'm curious to see how this matchup goes, and it was a blowout. Drake May loses 31-10 with a hurdle on the right side. Is that Kale Shakir? I actually don't know. Don't quote me on names because I promise you I don't know names by numbers all that much. But the Bills, they're currently undefeated, 2-0. Patriots suffer a huge loss after beating the brakes off the Jags, who we just beat. And the Eagles, who will play next week, will host the Lions. And they end up losing this game. It's a pretty close game. Jared Goff versus Jalen Hurts. It was a 21-16 loss to the Lions. Sauce Gardner still new on the team. 21-16. I mean, when you have to play against Sauce Gardner on a better team than the Jets, you're going to struggle throwing that football. I think that goes without saying. Speaking of the Jets, they ended up getting blown out by Miami. Crazy enough, Tua did not have a single touchdown in this game, and Juwan Stewart threw 2 interceptions with a 42 completion percentage. And it didn't look pretty for Tua either. No touchdowns, and his completion percentage was not really all that great either. It's been ugly for him. It was all Breece Hall in the ground game that really got the job done. Tyler Algier with 2 touchdowns. Breece Hall had a lot of yards. Devon Achane had 1 more rushing touchdown to show for it. I said it wasn't pretty, but the Dolphins got the job done. Tyreek Hill, he's on the last year of his contract, so he's going to be a free agent once this year is up. Thank God for the Dolphins because they didn't have any money to work with anyway. Green Bay blew out the Rams. It's good to know we're not the only team they cooked. Elton Cunningham with an interception in this game. That's his first. Not pretty in this game compared to last week. Josh Jacobs picking up where he left off. Darrell Black, not really a good game for him. Only 7 yards on the ground. And Karen Williams was non-existent. The ground game was non-existent for some reason for the Rams. I kind of hate the rushing stats in Madden because they're usually so inconsistent. Devontae Adams playing against his former team yet again. And Mickey Blackman, our former teammate, led the game in tackles overall. We now have a chance to look at some of the contracts here. We got Jonathan Taylor, Quentin Nelson, who wants $20 million. Josh Downs is looking for about a $30 million contract. Kalijah Kancey with 45. Michael Pittman, who's already making $30 million this year, wants $30 million through 3. And we have a lot of big contracts this year. It's pretty scary because obviously we won't be able to re-sign every single guy on this team. You saw Anthony Richardson wants a big haul. You got Jones, Ibuka, Fadukasi, Lewis, Spencer Schrader, and also Leitu Latu has an option, which won't show up obviously until the year is over. So it's a scary contract we'll get more into later in the year. But we got the Eagles in week number 3. We didn't play this team last year, and maybe it was fine. This team led the NFC in overall record for a good reason. Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, and Devontae Smith all power the offense, whereas Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Freeman, Jalen Carter, and other names who I can't remember off the top of my head, power the defense. They even have Asante Samuel, who we tried to sign during the offseason, we didn't get. Now, while the Eagles did lead the NFC in record, they lost in the first game of the playoffs, at least their first game, which was the divisional round. I think it was to the 49ers, who eventually ended up going to the Super Bowl. Don't quote me on that because I had to look back. We are going to be without Quentin Nelson in this game, which is scary because the Eagles have a deadly pass rush on this team. And we're without probably our best offensive lineman. So get ready to cry. It's not cry Eagles cry, it's fly Eagles fly, because I expect them to torch us. But then again, we did pretty much torch the Jaguars for majority of the game, and we couldn't beat them last year. But Eagles, I think, are a way different breed. They're a better overall team than the Jaguars are. But this is the NFL. Never underestimate any team in the league. The Colts will start with the football, and it's already 3rd down. As Leonard will fire at the middle to Tyler Warren. We want him to make more catches. We want Leonard to be more accurate because I think it's a mix of both. It's not a first down, it's a few inches short. But we want both of them to play a little bit better because it seems like Leonard and Warren just aren't on the same page, which makes sense because they barely play with each other. 4th and inches now for the Colts, though, as they're going to go for it again. They've been pretty aggressive to start the year off on 4th down, and they will barely get it with Jonathan Taylor as he just gets past the line of scrimmage. It's a new set of downs for the Colts. There is almost pressure in his face. He'll check it down to Jonathan Taylor. And Taylor with juke move will get 7 yards. and a slow opening for the Colts in this quarter to start the game off, because they scored pretty fast last week. Not so much this week. There's pressure behind Leonard. He is hit as he throws. It's incomplete. 3rd and 3. Leonard steps back, tries to fire to the right side. That is caught for a first down by Michael Pittman. As we talked about, he has an expiring contract. He wants $3 million for 30 mil. Three years for 30 mil. He was making 30 mil in the stretch of 1 year this year. 60 if you count the second year from last season. DJ Giddens gets the first down. So Michael Pittman doesn't want as much, but I don't know if he's a contract we're definitely going to re-sign, because I like the contract, but I don't know if Pittman's worth that kind of money. Deep downfield, that's caught by Downs. A bit of a crazy catch that Downs had to make, but it's a first down for the Colts. They're getting down the field. It's taking them a while, but they're doing it. Throwing to the right side, that is caught by Warren as he remains in bounds. And they're now set at the 13-yard line. A chance for the Colts to score first. Up the middle for Ashton Dolan. That's in the end zone. And I said we'd involve Dolan and Gould more in the offense. And that's what we do here. He gets his first touchdown of the season. He had, I believe, 2 during the preseason. And that's now touchdown number 3 for Riley Leonard on the year. And the Eagles will start with the football, and Saquon Barkley breaks away deep in the secondary at the 20. He is taken down at the 12. And what a way for the Eagles to open up the game on offense. A 60-plus yard run for Saquon Barkley. And then he's got nowhere to go on the next play. The Colts have to try to lock him up. They weren't able to do it to Josh Jacobs or ETN. Pressure on Hurts, so have to run away, and he gets a gain of about 6. Now it's 3rd and 3. Hurts, no time to even throw the football. He's sacked by DeForest Buckner. He had 2.5 sacks last year. Hopefully he can improve that number this season. And now force Philly to only go for 3. Outside hand out to Taylor. Usually the same thing every time, as he'll get the first down. I might need to lower these run blocking stats. I thought I raised the run blocking. I don't know. I guess it's just that easy for Jonathan Taylor, or offensive line is just that good. And off to Giddens now, and he gets stuffed. It's easy for Taylor, but it's not easy for Giddens. Even though Giddens is pretty shifty. I've kind of credited that about his game. Play fake by Leonard to the right side. Pass incomplete as Warren took a shocking hit. It was hard. Couldn't hold on to the football. And this time he'll make the next catch. Wide open, breaks the tackle, first down for Warren. Warren can make some big plays when he has that football. 1st and 10. Leonard to throw it up the middle for for Taylor. Another first down for the Indianapolis Colts. They're down at the 13. 2nd and 7. They'll play fake for Giddens. Leonard trying to buy some time. He finds his man. That's caught by Tyler Conklin. What a catch, a 10-yard gain with pressure on his back. Tyler Warren was shaken up on an earlier play. He will be okay, but we'll of course try to sit him out where we need to. Instead, we'll hand this one off to Taylor, and it's easy pickings for Jonathan Taylor, as he'll now score his 3rd touchdown of the season. He's got a touchdown a game already. That closes out the quarter. We're up 14-3. We're playing dominant against the Eagles. Granted, there haven't been that many possessions, so we can't say the same as it was against Jacksonville. But the fact that we're up 14-3 on the number 1 seed in the NFC, well, not current, but last year's number 1 seed, says a lot about how good our team has been playing as of late. Start the second quarter, Eagles have possession. 2nd and 10, Hurts to throw, and he finds Devontae Smith, who just goes down and gets 4 yards. He was scared to get hit there, I guess. He thought he would have got cracked. 3rd and 6 for Hurts as he runs into a defender. It's Kalijah Cansey. Had a sack last week, got 1 this week. And now Philly gives the ball back up to the Colts. A chance for them to build this lead. Leonard dancing in the pocket. He will run up the middle and slide for a 9-yard gain. He's running the ball a little bit more. He's getting a little bit more comfortable. And Jonathan Taylor gets the handoff. He breaks free deep inside the 10 in the end zone again. Jonathan Taylor. I don't know how far he ran that football because I don't remember where he was. think it was about a 50-60 yard gain in the end zone. That's his second touchdown of the game already and his fourth on the season. 21-3 lead. This looks familiar as Saquon Barkley loses 4 yards on the handoff. Often you see him go down that fast. 2nd and 14. They'll kick it to Dallas Goedert for a gain of 12, making third down a little bit easier. I swear I changed these run blocking styles. I'm going to have to change them again. Jalen Hurts trying to buy some time. He'll find his receiver. It is Elijah Moore, the former Jet, who gets the first down. 2nd and 6 now for the Eagles. They need a touchdown. They need some type of momentum right now. Jalen Hurts backs up the throw, finds a wide open Moore again. He is short of the first down marker. So Philly have to hurry up and they'll just QB sneak it. I don't know if the tush push is in this game. I haven't really looked. I hope to God it isn't, but I don't know. I know Madden likes to change their playbooks. A screenplay for Saquon Barkley, though, a gain of 8. I think it would be cool if they had it, but I wouldn't be surprised if Madden put it in the game. Just saying. 2nd and 8 for Hurts in the offense. That's a throw that is somehow caught. A.J. Brown had to go up for it. The throw was kind of off target. But that's just the type of plays that A.J. Brown can make. Now it's first down at the 17. And wide open is Saquon Barkley. And he had it easy getting into the end zone. And the Jalen Hurts train might just start. It's now a 21-9 game. I don't know how Saquon Barkley was so wide open. It looked like man coverage, but I don't know. 3rd and 8, the Colts at risk of going down on downs. Leonard to throw up the middle, incomplete, overthrew his target. If he puts a little less heat on it, I think that's a first down. Leonard showing again that his incompletions do cause a little bit more worse for wear. And speaking of that, Hurts overthrows Dallas Goedert on that play. He had him wide open underneath. It's now 2nd and 10, and he does it again. Hurts and Goedert seemingly not on the same page. I don't know what's happening. He overthrew him twice on the same drive. Now Hurts has to throw this one away with pressure in his face, and it's a 3 and out for the Eagles with 3:29 left to go in the first half. Leonard, he'll find his man. That's incomplete. That was a throw for Ashton Dolan. Couldn't come down with it. Been a crazy catch by him. Go outside to left side. That's incomplete again. Another dropped ball by the receivers. Now 3rd and 10. Leonard, he'll find Tyler Conklin, who will get 7. It's been kind of a sloppy game, really, for the receivers because they're just not catching these footballs. I really don't know what it is, especially for us, because there've been a lot of drops, but there also been a lot of bad throws, and Hurts uncharacteristically is making a lot of bad throws. I know people have talked about his ability to throw the football, but I don't think it's ever been that bad. Philadelphia does nothing with their next drive, so we just didn't see it. And now the Colts have pretty good field position to probably put some more points on the board if they can. 2nd and 3 with a little over a minute and a half left to go in the game. Or sorry, the second quarter. Hand off to Giddens. He'll dance around past the line of scrimmage down at the 34-yard line. Still in the game is Giddens. Conklin in motion. Play action fake. Leonard going deep in the end zone. That pass is incomplete. Took a hard hit of throwing to basically double, triple coverage. And they'll try to run the football with Taylor. He gets stuffed. Loss of 5. And there's a big stop that the Eagles realistically needed, because they can't afford to let this game get out of hand. 30 seconds left to let the clock run, and they'll just hand this one off to Taylor and try to just even up this kick. The Eagles will use a timeout, which I don't know if I would have, but I guess either way, Schrader will kick the field goal. It is in between the uprights, and it's a 24-10 game. Eagles with not much time left, 2nd and 7, probably the last play of the quarter. They'll give this one to Barkley. He goes through a hole, and he seems to almost break through, and that's a touchdown-saving tackle by Cameron Bynum. As that will end the first half. This looks kind of familiar. 24-10 victory, 24-10 lead for the Colts. They're seemingly blowing out the Eagles. They were doing this against the Jacksonville Jaguars. The only difference is they have 3 more points. Around the NFL, we'll start the Bengals and the Saints, and this is a recipe for disaster if you're a New Orleans fan. Joe Burrow on the run, deep downfield, finds a wide open Jamar Chase. Saints just lost coverage. The game was close though, 28-25 victory for the Bengals. They're still undefeated and the Saints are still winless. Apologies to all you New Orleans fans. The Texans will host the Jets. Juwan Stewart still looking for his first win of his career. The Jets are pretty much tanking at this point because they don't really have a lot of star power. And it's not a bad start, but they're still trailing 14-10 to Stroud and the Texans. The Texans looking for their second win of the season. And looking to maybe win the AFC South because they couldn't last year. An interesting matchup in my eyes. Jaden Daniels taking on Cam Ward. I think that's a fun matchup, not something you're going to see often in the NFL, being that it's not in the same conference. Look at their running back. I thought it was Tony Pollard. It's not, but it actually is Tony Pollard. I'm stupid. But either way, shakes off some defenders and gets into the end zone. It's a tie game at 14 apiece. He took a hit in the end zone, but got right back up like it was nothing. Very interesting matchups. Carolina currently leads Baltimore. I thought they played last week. Is this a bug? Anyways, to come back to this game, the Eagles are trailing pretty big by 14. You don't really expect a team of their caliber to be losing by this much. The quarterback play has not really been clean either. It hasn't been super consistent. But what matters is who gets the win. Eagles start with the ball. They hand off to Barkley, and he loses 3. Latu laying down the lumber. I'm going to keep saying jokes like that because his name just works with it. But either way, lost to 3 for Barkley. They would get 9 yards on the next play. It's now 3rd and 4. Hurst on the run. He finds his target for a first down as the Eagles, 3rd down conversion, move the ball a little bit forward. Hurst running around in the pocket. He runs out of time. It is JT Tuimoloau. We've been waiting for him. That's the 3rd sack of the day for the Colts. Loss of 10. Play action fake and no time to even consider doing what he wants. And he is sacked by Jalen Watson, the newly acquired Colt during free agency. He is the 4th string corner. I'd argue he's 3rd or 4th. You could go either or. And now it's 3rd and 26. A long way to go for the Eagles. Hurst standing in the pocket. He'll find A.J. Brown. And he had a lane, but not enough room. That is 4th and 9 at the 44. Leading the Eagles to have to punt this football away. A pretty bad drive that looked good at the start, but bad at the end, taking 2 sacks. Because the Colts have been hot on offense and defense. Look to carry that over to the second half. They weren't able to last week, but they still got the win. Hand off to Taylor on the outside, and he'll continue his dominance as he gets the first down. He's got 97 yards with 2 touchdowns in this game. Play fake, the defender fell for Taylor, makes sense, and Leonard will run and get 10 yards easily, slides for a first down. Leonard more confident in his ability to run. You see he's doing it a lot more this season in these last few games. And then he fires it up the middle to Adonai Mitchell for a first down for the Colts. And it's Zach Bond who's shaken up on the field. Big injury for their defense, although their defense is not playing well. Adonai Mitchell is still making some pretty big catches. And off the Giddens, he gets stuffed behind the line of scrimmage, loss of 1. And maybe that's some momentum that the Eagles could use. 3rd and 11 for the Colts offense. Leonard is going to throw it into the end zone. That's incomplete into basically triple coverage. Almost. Now leaves Spencer Schrader to kick another field goal. Hasn't missed one since the series has started and will continue his streak. As the Eagles now trail 27-10. Who saw this in their future? If you're that so Raven, you probably didn't. I meant to say unless you're that so Raven. But either way, it is now 2nd and 8 for the Eagles, up the middle, wide open. Beats out Javarius Ward. Elijah Moore almost broke free into the end zone. If that animation doesn't play out in our way, Eagles come close to tying this game. In a weird play, JT Tuimoloau is there. I don't know what that was all about. Hurst tried to get rid of the ball pretty fast to the tight end. As there's a throw to the right side that is intercepted. Cameron Bynum, welcome back. It's not his first game since his injury, but it's his first interception since he got hurt last season. And the Colts will take the ball back as Jalen Hurts just underthrew it for Devontae Smith. And Cameron Bynum was just there. 3rd inches, DJ Giddens will get it. Not often you see Jalen Hurts make some mistakes like that, but tried to get rid of it too fast. Didn't really feel comfortable with his bearings. Leonard, play action fake, finds Tyler Warren. He's down at the 22-yard line. That's catch number 5 for him today. You want to see him get more touches. You want to see him lead this team in receptions. Hopefully he will. And then Leonard throws this football away. It's Asante Samuel who picks this ball off. A bad throw by Riley Leonard. Just kind of threw it in the coverage. It's one-on-one. Asante Samuel was just watching the whole way through. Up the middle, he just jumped the route. It's a bad pick by Riley Leonard as the Eagles will get the ball back. Still with a little over 12 minutes left to go in the game, and misses. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. He misses Dallas Goedert again. That's the 3rd time they haven't connected, and then he has to run away, and it's scooped up by Elijah Cansey. Jalen Hurts was running the whole time. He didn't even get a chance to even see what was open, and tried to get rid of the ball on the hit. And Elijah Cansey, good awareness, just scoops the ball up out of the air. And that's the 2nd interception by Jalen Hurts today. Hurts is not a guy that tends to throw the ball away really a lot at all. He's pretty consistent when it comes to not forcing turnovers. That one I don't really think is entirely on him. 2nd and 9 throw to Tyler Warren down at the 10. Ends the 3rd quarter. And it's still a blowout here in Philadelphia. 27-10. Even with the interception, it didn't matter because the Colts got it right back. Hurts with 2 interceptions in the 2nd stretch of the 3rd quarter. And it's getting pretty bad for the Eagles. The Colts offense looking impressive these last few games. This will be a play action fake. And Leonard finds his target. It's Tyler Conklin into the end zone. And that's another touchdown for Riley Leonard, his 2nd of the game. The 4th overall for this team. And they're blowing out the Eagles of all teams. A team that they'll rarely meet. 34-10 lead. The Eagles got to get it together. Can they pull a Jacksonville comeback? They didn't complete the comeback, but they sure as hell got close. Kicks out to A.J. Brown for the 1st down. They've got to pick up speed now. Don't have a lot of time to waste. To the left side, that is caught. A.J. Brown again. They got all the way downfield, though. Inside the 30, Hurts to the right side. Finds a wide open Smith who will just run it straight out of bounds. Smart because it will stop the clock. Some would argue he should have just kept going forward, but I think going out of bounds is smart. They need to take advantage of the clock, although it didn't stop at all, but still need to take advantage of them not having a lot of time. Hurts backs up to throw, fires it into the end zone to a wide open receiver. That's not Dallas Goedert, it's Daniel Bellinger who makes the grab, the backup tight end, as I already stated. And the Eagles will make this game a little bit closer. They're going to try to go for 2 and make it a 14-point deficit as opposed to 15. And wide open on the left side this time is Goedert. And now it's a 34-18 lead for the Colts. And the Eagles trying to make a Jazz comeback. They're going to try to cut into this deficit. 2nd and 6, hand off to Taylor. You knew what was going to happen. Great blocking on the left side. Nice juke move inside down at the 43 in Eagles territory again. Jonathan Taylor not missing a beat. They can't stop him. A little over 6 minutes left. A lot over 6 minutes left. Hand off to Giddens this time. He'll run it up the middle. And it's another 1st down for Jacksonville. The Indianapolis Colts. I get stuck in my words sometimes, guys. Forgive me. Play action fake by Leonard. Hit as he throws. Incomplete. If he has just a millisecond more, that's a touchdown. Indianapolis Colts will have to kick a field goal, so it's 37-18. It's a 3-possession game again. As that's a nice throw up the middle to Devontae Smith. And now it's crunch time for the Eagles. They're trailing by 19. So they got to pick it up. Oh, sorry, not 19. No, is it 19? It is 19. I'm a fool. Anyways, they'll get the stop. It's 4th and 1. It's kind of all up to here. The Colts will use a timeout, not allow Philadelphia to put pressure on them. So it's 4th and 1. What do the Eagles call here? I'm thinking they probably end up passing it. They actually run it with Barkley. Makes sense. He gets past the 40 down to 44. But the Eagles gotta hurry it up. They're gonna go hurry up. No huddle. 2nd and 1. Hurts to throw. That's a nice catch by Elijah Moore. And there's an injury on the field, which is good and bad for the Eagles because it stops the clock, but they lose a player. But it's 3rd and 4. We're a little over 2 minutes. We gotta hurry things up. Hurts with man in motion. That's Goddard in motion. He was left open, couldn't find him, and then Hurts is sacked. Loss of 8. 5th sack on the day for the Colts. And now it's crunch time. 4th and 12. They need it here. They lose the game altogether. Hurts to throw. He's in the pocket. Left side. That is intercepted. And that's Nick Cross who picks the ball off. That was just a bad throw by Hurts, but there wasn't much he could have done. I think he should have thrown it into the end zone and banked on a flag. That would have been picked off regardless. If it wasn't Nick Cross, it was going to be Kenny Moore, who was right behind him. And this game is essentially over now. The Colts will go up to 2 and 1. It was the first time they've had a positive record in this franchise. In this series, but not before DJ Giddens runs a 49-yard touchdown into the end zone, getting his first touchdown on the year in a big way. No sportsmanship for the CPU, and we'll blow out this team 44 was the extra point, to 18. It wasn't even a dogfight. It was a blowout against the Eagles. We're 2 and 1. The first time, like I said, we have a positive record in this series. We haven't had one. We didn't have one at all last year. Remember, we were 1 and 7 last season at one point. It was terrible. But this year we're having a strong start. We did have that turnover, but outside of that, we didn't really make too many mistakes on the offensive side of the football, and our defense stayed poised, leaving the former number 1 seed to just 18 points. That's not something a lot of teams can realistically do against the Eagles squad, but we win 44-18. A dominant performance. Ryan Leonard, it wasn't exactly pretty. A lot of missed throws and a lot of drop passes by the receivers and a lot of tight throws at that. Only 187 yards to Hurts' 270. He threw the ball 40 times. He threw the ball away to us 3. So another 3 interceptions that we forced on the offense. The interceptions for us are just piling up on the defensive side. I mean, not the offensive side, but the defense is playing a lot better, forcing a lot of these turnovers. Boston, all these CPUs are tending to throw these balls away more often. I don't know why, but I said we'll have a sliders update. Probably not in the next episode, but in the episode after that. Giddens runs for over 100. I think that might be his first or second time in his career. Jonathan Taylor runs for over 100 again. The receiving game wasn't entirely there. Warren was our best guy, but remember, we only had under 200 receiving yards or passing yards, so the receiving game unfortunately was not much involved in this game. But Leonard did have 2 touchdowns. Adonai Mitchell, more of a quiet game. Tyler Warren had more touches in this one, which you love to see. Ashton Dulin was in the end zone. Blocking was pretty stellar, I'll say. I mean, we didn't allow they didn't allow Ryan Leonard to get hit not one time. We sacked him quite a bit. Latu with the most TFLs. Also with the sack, Buckner had his first on the year. We're hoping for some improvements from him. JT Tuimalu also had one. Had a lot of sacks, and we had 5 guys have 1 each, and 3 interceptions, including 1 from Elijah Cansey, which I don't want to blame it on Jalen Hurts because it's not really his fault. But still, big on Elijah Cansey's stat line. That's his first. Ryan Leonard is going to get a bit of an upgrade. I was kind of stuck on what really I wanted to do for him because he's still a low overall, so it's not like it's going to shake him up too much. But I opted to go for field general just because it helps with his accuracy, because he is missing a lot of throws, or his throws just aren't on target like they should be. So hopefully that will help him. He does have 88 throw power. His deep accuracy is still very low, but his short accuracy is good. Hopefully it gets better throughout the year, in the event that he ends up being our long-term starter, because we still don't know yet. But let's look around the week for week number 3 as we get ready to close out this episode. It's been kind of long. Like I said, I wish I showed a different game here, but the Eagles get completely blown out ETA by the Colts. And this was the dagger, the run into the end zone by Giddens, a 44 to 18 point win for the Colts. Kind of crazy. This is a different Colts team than what we're used to from last season. The Raiders and the Chargers. Funny enough, the Raiders beat the Chargers in, I believe, the AFC Championship game to get to the Super Bowl to win. But the Chargers get a bit of revenge, winning 35 to 21 over the Raiders. RJ Hampton, or Marion Hampton, sorry, into the end zone. But the Chargers, a bit of a revenge game. They still have one more against them, so hopefully for them they could carry that over. The Raiders lose their first game of the season. Then the Cardinals, they'll host the Cowboys, and it doesn't go in Arizona's way because they lose in kind of in dominant fashion, 24 to 9. The Cardinals couldn't really get much offense realistically going, so the Cardinals are now down. The Cowboys are 2-1. Cardinals, I already forgot their record. Is he taking classes from Bruce Lee Enterprises? Anyways, around the NFL, Cleveland loses to the Chiefs. Funny thing, the Chiefs and Browns last year both started 0-5. And now the Chiefs are currently 3-0. The Browns are still 0-3, so they still suck. But it could have just been a crazy year for Kansas City. I would believe that. Marcus Hampton had a solid outing. Jerry Jeudy was okay. This game was really interesting to me on paper. Jaden Daniels versus Cam Ward. Cam Ward ends up winning the battle. Jaden Daniels had 3 interceptions in this game. And outside of that play that we saw from Tony Pollard, he didn't do much. It was really too involved. The other games, I saw Carolina beat Baltimore. I thought we saw the last week, I guess I'm blind. The Jets lose to Houston. The Steelers fall to Jacksonville. Of course, the Chargers beat the Raiders. The 49ers and Rams had a weird score, but a low-scoring affair, and the Green Bay Packers bested New England. But I was curious about this game because we're looking at the 2 quarterbacks to win the first round, Cunningham and Stewart. Cunningham did not have a pretty game. No touchdowns and only 1 interception. Purdy didn't really have that much of a better game. He was more complete, but only 1 touchdown. I was curious to see some of the touchdown leaders and who really leads in the NFL. We saw Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow has 9 already. He leads the NFL. Hurts, with that last game, now has 4 interceptions, as opposed to how he had 1, which came in the loss to the Commanders in week 1. Also, Joe Burrow has not thrown an interception yet. Elton Cunningham is 3 for 3. Caleb Williams is still looking ugly out there in Chicago. Cam Ward is a surprise. He has 8 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. He wasn't really looking all that good last season. He had a lot of interceptions to start the year off, but good to see that he's finally figuring it out. Brock Purdy doesn't have any interceptions. Bryce Young, 6 for 0. 6 for 0. Drake May not having a strong start despite us changing his development. Tua's looking ugly out there. He has the worst completion percentage. Shedeur Sanders is 2nd. We'll play against him next, and Herbert has the 3rd best completion percentage. But that'll do it for this episode of the Madden or Indianapolis Colts franchise. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe if you are enjoying the content, if you are new to the content. Like I said, always say I want to be more consistent with this thing, but hopefully I am. But this has been Minnesota Mafia, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.